For those of you wondering why this is episode 2, for those of you that haven't seen the first episode, the reason why that is Turner Broadcasting sent it down due to copyright issues. I'm working on the dispute as we speak. It'll be up in at least a month, because I am legally in the right. Yeah, it's a huge problem on YouTube for critics when people aren't very educated with the fair use system or fair use law. And by the way, whenever you review something, if you use footage from it, to a certain extent, you're using fair use, as long as you don't go overboard with it. So, anyway, what are we doing today? Today we're going to be looking at Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul. Now, for the two people out there that don't know, Diary of a Wimpy Kid is a book series created by Jeff Kinney. And it was a pretty creative idea at the time, but as of late, they really did jump the shark on this one. So, here's what happened with Diary of a Wimpy Kid. In 2007, Jeff Kinney released this book, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. It's a pretty good book. I've read through it about 1,000 times, and I think it still holds up to this day. It feels like a book that was just written now. So when this book came out, it was astounding, the amount of critical praise that it got. Because it was a very unique idea. It was a journal about a kid in middle school documenting his life on a day-to-day basis. Because people like this book so much, he wrote a second one. And it was pretty good. It wasn't bad. Then we got Lost Straw. Okay, not too bad. It still holds up. Diary of a Wimpy Dog Days. You're kinda drowning us here, Kinney. The Ugly Truth. Bit better than Dog Days, actually, but, you know, it's nothing fantastic anymore. Cabin Fever. Terrible. Third Wheel. Monotonous and tedious. Hard Luck. Predictable. Long Haul. Monotonous. Old School. There's not even an adjective that can use for old school. It can barely keep its plot consistent and just jumps all around. And we get Double Down. Now, if you look at the back of Double Down, it advertises that it's about Greg Heffley making a movie. They start that at the 200th page. Each book is 217 pages, by the way. I didn't even get the 12th book because I'm just totally done with the series. It's jumped the shark, it's done, and I just don't want to read it. It's too monotonous and predictable. So today we're going to be talking about the most recent movie that they produced, The Long Haul. Now this was at a time where this book was out, 2 years later. It takes a bit of time to write movies, so, you know, I'm not going to criticize it too hard, just the timing seems stupid. Not to mention the chronological order of the movies. It goes from book 1 to book 2, skips a book, goes to book 4, and it skips 5 books, and goes to book 9. Why? Just tell the story. Well, actually, I know why. It's because there isn't enough of a story in any of these to even make a movie out of it. Except maybe Cabin Fever. I'd like to see a Cabin Fever movie, if, you know, it was good. But let's get on with the actual movie. This is a long intro, I'm sorry. So break out the microwave popcorn and off-brand legally safe Mountain Lightning, because it's time to review Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul. Ah, damn, the popcorn burned. Hey, look at that. Fox was involved in the production. Go figure. This movie starts out with the Heffley family pulling up to the fictional restaurant Corny's to eat dinner. The first thing you'll notice is that it had to recast all the kids and parents for some reason. I can understand the kids because, you know, the kids were too old to play the teenager part. But the adults, they were spectacular in their movies. I really enjoyed them. I wonder why they didn't come back for this one. Well, actually, that'll become more apparent as this movie progresses. Seriously, this is one of the worst movies that I've seen that came out in 2017. They walk inside the restaurant, and it's your typical hellhole restaurant that you see in media all the time. Kids acting like animals and misbehaving and seeming to get no punishment for it. This movie is actually pretty offensive to all demographics. It depicts kids as imbeciles who can't control themselves around anything, and depicts adults as technology-hating, selfish, grandiose bigots who can't seem to listen to the kid at all. I don't know who this movie actually appeals to. At the dinner table, everyone's using their phones for different reasons. And then Susan confiscates all of them. Susan is the worst part of this entire movie because of how selfish she is. She just can't listen to anyone else's opinion but her own. As Dr. Phil would say, she has a closed mind. She also seems to be, very antithetical to technology. Anything that involves technology, she won't involve it. It's just completely separated from her life. She just won't even go near it. She just can't touch it, alright? It's like a freaking carcinogen. She just wants to stay away from it as far as possible.
Mi nombre or su nombre?
I just don't get it. We're miles off course.
I think that's why you shouldn't trust technology. If we just used a map instead of the GPS...
Don't worry.
Yeah, it's technology's fault. It's not because of our ineptitude with it. Hey, let's not even question if anything happened with the GPS while we were gone. No, let's not do that. It's immediately technology's fault. It's trying to take us over. It's trying to make us intentionally fail. Oh, who could save us from technology? Susan Heffley is one of the worst characters in the history of film. I'm going to say that straight up right now. I would call her a bitch, but we need a stronger word here, so I'm prepared to use a word that I don't think I've ever actually said in a non-joking way. Susan Heffley's a cunt. I'm not joking. If you thought of some cunt woman who just listens to herself and just goes after everyone, you'd think of Susan Heffley. If you thought of someone who was a cunt, you'd think Susan Heffley. At the dinner table, Greg and Rowley are watching this guy named Max Digby, or whatever his name is, when cunt woman takes the phone from him, saying that it's a bad influence. If you're gonna let your children watch media, you're gonna have to expect things not having a good influence on them. Personally, I don't believe that media really has the power to make someone actually do something. I think that all comes from how they react to it. See, the problem with, the argument of a lot of censorship is, where does it end? Alright? The line for where something is offensive is ambiguous. And what really qualifies as needing to be censored? For example, a lot of movies are filled with violence and get maybe PG-13 ratings at worst. If a movie says the C word or the N word, R rating, right there. Because it's language. I think that language thing is pretty ridiculous, but I do think we need to have some sort of limit on censorship. I think there should be, we don't bleep out words, but we should have a limit on how many times you can say a certain word. BoJack Horseman is a good example of this. BoJack Horseman has a rule. You can only say the word fuck once a season, and that helps maintain its impact and how serious of a word it is. They also do say the C word on one occasion, but it's used as a joke. Not to mention that many parents actually restrict their kids from watching any TV at all. I think that's fine, but then they allow them to read books. Books are notoriously known for being filled with violence, swearing, sexual encounters, all sorts of that stuff. Alright, it happens all the time. Most of Shakespeare's plays were tragedies, and had a lot of blood and violence in them. So if you're going to say that you're a better parent, or books are better than, TV because it's a book and you're reading, it's good for you, you're an idiot, okay? Either all media or no media, because there's no way to actually filter all of it, okay? If you're gonna let your kid read books but not watch TV, you might as well be letting them just watch TV and not read books. Then again, based on how Greg and Rowley act about Max Digby, I can see cunt woman's problem.
Are you kidding? He's like the greatest guy I know.
See, Greg and Rowley think he's a god. I'm not kidding. I think they pray to him before they go to bed every night. They think of him like their leader, that he should be worshipped or something. At the table, Cunt Woman tells the whole family that they're going to be taking a road trip to see their Meemaw for her 90th birthday. And Greg has to be an ungrateful little shit about it, mostly because I'm assuming he can't pray to Max Digby in the car or something. Cunt Woman notices Manny is caught in the play area and asks Greg to go after him. And you already know where this joke is going. Ha ha, kids' areas are not fun. Actually, no, I don't even get the joke. There was no real jokes in this at all. At the end of the chase, Manny goes down a slide and Greg follows him into the ball pit. When he rises from the ball pit, he tries to look for Manny and picks up random kids and then tosses them aside like they're nothing. He reaches down after 2 tries because Rule 3 and picks up a diaper. Then we get our main intro. The main intro pretty much tells us what anyone over an IQ of 4 would already been able to guess. Greg Heffley is selfish, and he thinks that a life without technology is a life not worth living. And yes, I'm fully aware that I'm using the word technology incorrectly. I know technology means anything man-made, but it's okay because this movie misuses it literally every time. We cut to Gregory's room where we find out that Greg's become kind of a meme with the diaper hand situation. And it's very apparent that the writers don't actually know what a meme is. Or they don't get how memes work. See, in the diaper hand situation, just the diaper hands probably wouldn't be much of a meme. What would have become a bigger meme is they started putting other ridiculous things in his hands and then being terrified by it. That would have made sense and could have been a legitimate meme. But no, they didn't understand it at all.